Hello, this is Claire OT and I'm here at COT 2012 and I'm sitting with a couple of people that I do want to talk to about what they've been up to. And the first person that I want to speak to is a wonderful, very eminent OT. She's called Professor Gill Chard. Gill Chard. And she was my favourite teacher when I was at St Martin's College in Lancaster. So she's been everywhere and done everything. So I'm just going to point the camera at Gill so that she can tell you a little bit about her life. So there you are, Gill.
Hi.
So what made you get into OT in the first place, Gill?
Well, it was actually my head mistress at school. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I used to really like making things and I was always interested in costumes, and I used to go to the theatre with my parents a lot, and I was interested in theatre costumes. So I really had an urge to go and work in the theatre and do costumes. But I went to a girls' high school and the headmistress there said, "You don't want to do that, there's no money in it. You should go and do occupational therapy." So I did it, and I never looked back. It's just the most fascinating, interesting, exciting career. It involves working with all sorts of people, every age, all kinds of backgrounds, disabilities, and I just find the constant challenge of that really exciting.
Because it's quite unusual in terms of health professions, because you do get to use your creativity a lot, don't you?
You do, yes.
Whether it's finding a solution for somebody, or whether it's making something,
yes,
or whether it's helping them to make links for themselves. So yeah, I think it's a very creative way to work. And so you're now a professor, and
yes.
So that means that you've done lots and lots of study in addition to your OT degree.
Yes.
And I know that when I was one of your students, that you were one of the leading lights in using a particular kind of assessment.
Yeah. The AMPS, the assessment of motor and process skills. Yes.
And are you still involved in that?
I do. In fact, I retired from full-time education about 2 years ago, and I now run AMPS UK and Ireland. So I organise all the AMPS and school AMPS and more latterly evaluation of social interaction courses across the UK and Ireland. So we run a course, an AMPS course every year in Ireland, and we run about 8 to 10 AMPS courses in the UK every year.
Okay, that's great. So qualifying as an OT that could use AMPS is particularly useful in which practice areas, do you think?
Well, you can use the AMPS in any setting. It's a standardised observational assessment. So what that means is that you observe clients, any clients. You could even observe well people doing everyday activities, because that's what occupational therapists are interested in, what people do, their occupations. So the AMPS looks mostly at what we would call activities of daily living. So things like taking care of yourself, washing yourself, dressing yourself, making your own meals, homemaking tasks. So things like bed making, laundry tasks, some leisure tasks like some outdoor tasks, gardening tasks, weeding, sweeping, those kinds of things. And you would observe somebody do 2 of those tasks and then rate them on 16 motor and 20 process skill items. And this particular assessment uses computer software, to convert the scores that you give, the ratings, into an ability measure. So you actually have a numerical measure of somebody's motor and process abilities. So it's a really good assessment to use for the outcomes of occupational therapy. Measure somebody's ability at the beginning of treatment and again at the end. You can also use it as a political tool to show the effectiveness of occupational therapy, that what you're doing makes a difference in people's lives. And you can use it in research. You can use it as an outcome measure for research. So it's a very wide-ranging tool that you can use with anybody, any age, any setting, any area of practice.
That's great. And you've been in the the business of OT for a while. What have been the biggest changes that you've seen in the standing of the profession and how we're working? And what do you think are the ways that the profession can develop in the near future?
I think one of the biggest things was that when we started, we were probably no more or less known by the general public than now, in some ways. But I think what we have done I've been in practice for 40 years, and I think the thing that we have done is really raise the profile on benefits of occupation. And as occupational beings, occupation makes us who we are. And certainly when I first started practicing, the medical model was really to the fore. So we all love to work within a hospital setting, within a medical setting. Mental health was certainly around, but it was not so prominent as it is now. There's been a huge shift to community working, enabling people to live independently in the community. I think the focus on moving out into other areas, like working with people who want to return to work, working with offenders, working with people with long-term conditions. So we don't just see them in hospital and fix them and then send them home. We actually work with them through the lifespan. Working with people with dementia, excuse me, and their carers. So it's not just about the impairment, the condition, but we're working with the effects of that impairment on people's occupational lives, and I think that's really exciting.
That's great, and it's lovely to see you again, because it's so clear that you're still excited by the profession and still enjoy it so much. And I hope to emulate that, because I'm a big enthusiast for occupational therapy. But it's important to remember, I think, that we have got this tradition, and these challenges that we're facing now in the political sense, these are challenges that we've always faced in one way or another. We've always struggled to assert ourselves as an evidence-based profession. We're always battling against a medical model. These things aren't new. They've always been there, and we've always found a way. So thanks, Jill.
And the thing just to remember is that people are still people, and will always have needs to be who they are and do what they want to do. So there will always be a role for occupational therapists. Always.
Thanks, Jill. Just moving the camera back over my way, and I'm going to ask. I'm also sat with Andrew Brown, who tweets as the BAOT COT. Oh, I'm trying to get in the middle there. BAOT COT tweeter. He's the. I think your job title, Andrew, is that you're the social media officer for the College of Occupational Therapy. But I think a lot of people that have interacted with you online have never seen your face. So here he is. This is Andrew. So wave and say hello.
Hello world.
Obviously we know each other from social media, and I'm a big advocate for occupational therapists engaging in social media and really seeing what the possibilities are for practicing our profession online. Your area of expertise is around using social media to market and to engage with the membership, isn't it? So could you tell me a little bit about things that you've done while you're at BAOT and what your plans are, of things you'd like to do?
I think one of the big things that came out of the last session I was at around the future of the profession is how social media is a way for clients to say positive and negative things about the services they receive. And this is a big area for occupational therapists to really amplify the positives of service users and engage with them online. And also there's a big challenge in how they deal with that as well. So I think that's going to be a big thing in the next sort of year or so. And you're already seeing it in some of the NHS choices, I think it is, where people can rate their services. And I think OTs need to be aware of this challenge that's coming up.
Yeah, and I think there's a few other services as well as NHS choices, because there's patient opinion, who are great, and there's also a service called iwantgreatcare.com where you can can go and you can rate your doctor, your GP, and there's... Are we still going? Yeah, we are. We're still broadcasting. It's just the screen goes dark. And you can also rate therapists, such as occupational therapists. So it might be worth people knowing that that's out there, and perhaps if they make that available to service users and encourage it. But I think it's a big shame that I've noticed that not all trusts are really engaging with things like patient opinion, and it saddens me sometimes when I see a comment and there's been no response, or a very corporate response that's not personal, and it's not really valuing.
It's always a danger, really, and it's one of the sort of massive faux-pas of social media. Really, you need to have a sort of personal. You need to show the personality of yourself as an occupational therapist, and as an organisation, it's a great opportunity to show the personality of the organisation as well, to show that you're receptive to opinions, either positive or negative, and deal with them in a way that you would face to face. And that's one of the big things with social media, is it's no different to face-to-face communications, and that's what people need to understand, really.
And I think it's such a great opportunity to kind of demonstrate our values and really embody our values, either as an organisation or as an individual professional working within the health service.
And in such a public sphere as well, where anyone can find it.
Absolutely. And I take that on board totally, and I'm always learning and always growing in using social media, and it's great because we have really fantastic OTs in social media that are tweeting today from here, that are engaging online in all the different ways that we can, through the OTalk chats and through BAOT. It's a really exciting time, isn't it? So apart from the engaging with the public, what do you think we can do to promote the occupational therapy profession in social media, especially given the kind of political pressures that we're under at the moment, and things that are worrying people are around, is there going to be a job for me in the NHS in the next few years?
I think, again, in the session I was just in, people were talking about the need for OTs to stand out and shout about, I'm an OT, this is what I'm about. And that goes to social media, it goes online, offline, everywhere you are. You need to have this sort of quick to the point, I'm an OT, this is what I do, this is the value I can make, both on a personal level in terms of the care you give, but there is also the economic backup there as well. This is the money saving you can make, and at a time politically, you've got these weapons available. We know the value to occupational therapy in terms of how much it can save people going into hospital, getting them out of hospital quickly and able to look after themselves. We need to sort of really capitalise on this and make people aware of this in sort of all spheres.
And I think that's really important as well, in terms of what people tell us that they want. People don't want to have long stays in hospital. People want to get treatment in their own homes, or as near to home as possible. And certainly in my field of mental health, people really don't want to go to hospital unless it's absolutely necessary, but they want to be better supported in the community to do things that are important to them. And this is where we have a real edge as OTs. So I really hope that we'll see more and more OTs engaging in this social media space and kind of making those connections explicit for people that want to watch. So if you're out there watching this and you have something to say about what occupational therapy has done for you, or what you can do for occupational therapy, if it's something that you're training in or it's something that you've qualified in, then do shout about it and tweet us, tweet me, or leave a comment on this film, and follow the hashtag, and I will update with some more interviews and broadcasts through the day. Thanks for watching.